The silent trap that keeps you poor. Let me tell you something most people are too afraid to admit. There is a reason why 97% of people live paycheck to paycheck. There is a reason why they struggle, grind, sacrifice, and still remain stuck. And the worst part, they don't even know why. This video is going to uncover the silent psychological traps, the hidden conditioning, and the invisible chains that keep the majority poor forever. Not for a moment, not for a season, but for life. You'll hear the hard truth, you'll see yourself in these mistakes, and you'll be forced to answer one burning question before the video ends. Will I be among the 97%, or will I finally break out? We're going to reveal the 5 most dangerous habits keeping you broke, the exact mindset differences between the rich and poor, the invisible scripts you've been following without knowing, and how to escape this cycle before it's too late. So if you're ready, truly ready to step into the uncomfortable truth, to tear down the excuses and face the reality of why you're not where you want to be, then don't blink. Don't pause. Don't click away, because once this truth is revealed, you will never see the world the same again. Let's begin. Point 1. You've been programmed to stay poor. Let me ask you a question. Who taught you how money works? Was it school, your parents, society, or was it simply no one? You were born into a world that handed you a script, a poor man's script. It told you, go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, retire, and hope you have enough to survive. And like a well-trained actor, you followed that script, never realizing it was written to keep you in the system, not free you from it. You see, poverty isn't just financial, it's mental. It's a set of beliefs, a way of thinking, a worldview passed down from one broke generation to the next. They told you, money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. Don't dream too big, you'll be disappointed. And you believed it. Why? Because it was all you knew. Because no one told you that the mind of a millionaire is built, not inherited. Because no one taught you that poverty isn't just a condition. It's a learned behavior. Understand this, 97% of people are not poor because of fate, luck, or genetics. They're poor because they were programmed to be . And unless you recognize the program, you will continue to run autopilot. Now let's dig deeper. Let's look at the first internal habit that keeps people broke for life. 2. The addiction to comfort and security. Let me be brutally honest with you. Comfort is a slow poison. Security is a silent killer of dreams. Most people think they want wealth, but what they really want is safety. They don't chase success, they retreat into routine, into the familiar, into a world where they don't have to take risks, and that's exactly why they stay poor. Let me tell you what the 97% will never understand. Wealth is born on the other side of discomfort. But the average person, they'll do anything to avoid discomfort. They'll stay at a job they hate, because it's safe, avoid learning new skills. Because it's hard, reject big goals. Because there's scary, delay action. Because timing isn't perfect. They live inside a prison of habits, and they don't even know they're locked in. Understand this, your comfort zone is your poverty zone. If you never do what's uncomfortable, you'll never have what's extraordinary. Because all progress begins when you do the thing your fear tells you to avoid. Millionaires, they seek challenge. They embrace the unknown. They don't chase comfort, they chase growth. But the 97%, they want guarantees. They want a salary. They want to be told what to do. Security feels good now, but it costs you everything later. Ask yourself, what have you avoided because it felt uncomfortable? What dream have you buried under fear? What leap have you refused to take because it wasn't safe? Now understand this. Every time you chose safety over growth, you chose poverty over wealth. And here's the kicker. You'll keep doing it, again and again, unless you break the pattern. Because the brain is wired for survival, not success. You must retrain your instincts. You must become the kind of person who walks toward resistance, not away from it. That's what the top 3% do. Let's move forward. Let me show you the next invisible force that's silently robbing your potential. Now, here's a trap most people never even realize they've fallen into. They think debt only comes in dollars. But there is another kind of debt, even more dangerous, more destructive. It's called time debt. Let me break it down. What is time debt? Time debt is the result of spending your hours on things that yield no return. It's doing what's easy instead of what's valuable. It's wasting years on distractions, dead-end routines, and low-impact work while pretending you're too busy. To build your dream, most people never measure their time the way they measure money. But here's the truth. Every hour you waste is a withdrawal from your future bank account. Every minute spent on entertainment over elevation is a bill your future self must pay. The poor think time is endless. The rich know every hour counts. How the 97% waste time. They say, I'll start tomorrow. I'm too tired after work. I just need to relax for a bit. And day after day, they trade their future freedom. For momentary comfort, they scroll. They binge. They distract themselves from the very work that would change their lives. But here's what the top 3% do differently. They treat time like a currency. They invested in learning, building, strategizing, networking, taking action, even imperfect action, because they understand this one rule: money lost can be earned back. Time lost is gone forever. The cost of just one day. Let's make this real. You say, it's just one day I skipped. It's just one weekend I relaxed. It's just a few hours wasted here and there. But that's how your entire life disappears. One day becomes 1 week. 1 week becomes 1 year. 1 year becomes your story. And you wake up wondering, why hasn't anything changed? The answer: because you spent your time on nothing that could change it. Kill time debt. Build time assets. Ask yourself now, what am I doing every day that my future self will thank me for? Where am I wasting time pretending I'm being productive? What time investments can I make today that will pay me back 10x next year? Shift your thinking from consumer to creator, from entertainment to elevation, from reaction to intention. That's how you escape time poverty and start building time wealth. 4. The victim mindset that silently destroys millions. Let me tell you the truth that most people don't want to hear. It's not the world that keeps them broke. It's not their government, not their boss, not their background, not their family, not even their lack of money. It's the mindset of a victim, a quiet parasite that eats away at potential until there's nothing left. And here's the kicker: most people walking around with this mindset don't even realize they have it. But if you want to rise into the 3%, if you want to escape the fate of the majority, you must eliminate this thinking down to the root. What does the victim mindset look like? It doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. It says, it's not fair. I didn't get the same chances. They're lucky. I was born in the wrong place. Someone should help me. It's not my fault. And slowly, without realizing it, the person becomes addicted. Addicted to blame. Addicted to excuses. Addicted to the comfort of believing someone else is responsible for their life. They give up power and pretend they had none to begin with. The silent trade. Here's the dangerous trade-off they make. They give up control of their life in exchange for comfort in their story. Because if you're the victim, you're not responsible. And if you're not responsible, you don't have to change. You don't have to face failure. You don't have to take risks. But here's the tragedy. That same trade is exactly what guarantees a lifetime of poverty. Winners think differently. The top 3%, the millionaires, the leaders, the self-made, they don't have easier lives. They just refuse to surrender their power. When something goes wrong, they ask, what did I do to allow this? What can I learn here? How do I fix this now? They live by this law. You can blame or you can build, but you can't do both. Stop telling the same story. You want to know why most people stay poor? Because they keep repeating the same story to themselves. My dad left. My boss is unfair. The system is broken. I never had the support. It's too late for me. But listen closely. That story might explain your past, but it cannot define your future unless you let it. You are not your childhood. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are not your disadvantages. You are what you decide to become next. Shift from victim to visionaries. So ask yourself, where am I blaming others instead of building myself? What excuses am I still holding on to? What would change in my life if I took full ownership starting today? This is how the 3% are made. Not by chance, not by inheritance, but by declaring war on the victim mindset and replacing it with radical personal responsibility. Because once you stop waiting for someone else to save you, you'll finally realize you've had the power all along. 5. The comfort trap that keeps you average forever. Let me tell you something most people refuse to accept. Comfort is a cage. And the moment you fall in love with comfort, you sign a lifetime contract with mediocrity. You may not see the bars. You may not feel the lock. But if you're chasing comfort above growth, you're already imprisoned. This is the quiet killer, the invisible enemy, the reason 97% never rise. Let's expose it before it buries your potential for good. How comfort becomes the silent assassin. Maya starts small. You work a job that's just okay. You say, it's not that bad. You tell yourself, at least I'm not struggling, and slowly you stop reaching, you stop pushing yourself, you stop learning, you stop becoming the person you were meant to be, all in the name of feeling fine. But remember this, nobody becomes great by feeling fine. You rise when you're willing to feel uncomfortable on purpose. The real cost of a comfortable life. Comfort doesn't just steal your dreams, it steals your edge. Because when life gets easy, so do you. You lose your hunger, you stop taking risks, you stop demanding more of yourself. And while you stay warm in your cozy little bubble, someone else out there, hungrier than you, more disciplined than you, more obsessed than you, is building the empire you gave up on now. Tell me, is that worth it? The truth about growth is not supposed to feel good. It's supposed to stretch you, break you, force you into discomfort, demand sacrifice. But that's what makes it powerful. Growth means you wake up early when you don't feel like it. Growth means you invest in yourself before buying the next gadget. Growth means you walk alone for a while, because the old crowd no longer fits your future. Are you willing to go through that? Because the top 3% are. Are you choosing growth or safety? You cannot have both. Every day you make a choice. Stay in the bed of comforter, step into the fire of discipline. One leads to average. The other leads to freedom. Ask yourself, am I too comfortable right now? What hard thing have I been avoiding? What would happen if I leaned into discomfort instead of running from it? Because what feels good now will cost you later, and what's hard now will reward you forever. Burn the comfort blanket if you truly want to break free from the 97%. You must burn your comfort blanket. Tear it up. Destroy it. Never return to it again. Start choosing what's uncomfortable. Speak when you're scared. Show up when you're tired. Discipline yourself when you want to relax. Do what needs to be done, not what feels nice, because that is how millionaires are. Built. Not in soft beds, but in uncomfortable, painful, intentional grind. 6. Scarcity thinking, the root of permanent poverty. There is a lie buried deep in the minds of the 97%. A lie so old, so subtle, so well dressed, that they mistake it for truth. And it is this: there's not enough money, not enough time, not enough luck, not enough opportunity. This is the scarcity mindset, the root of permanent poverty. And if you don't rip it out of your thinking, it will quietly sabotage every effort, every ambition, every dream you have. Let's rip it out right now. Scarcity doesn't start in the wallet, it starts in the mind. Most people think they're broke because they don't have money, but the truth is more brutal. They don't have money because they think like people who never will. They think in limits. They see lack everywhere. They believe every dollar someone else makes is one less for them. They see success as a threat, not a lesson. It's a cycle of mental poverty, and it leads to real poverty. The scarcity cycle in action here. How it works. You believe there isn't enough, so you hoard what little you have. You stop taking risks. You avoid investing in yourself. You shrink your actions. You settle for crumbs. You stay stuck, and you repeat it over and over until you've built a life of limitation. Millionaires think in abundance. The top 3% don't think like this. They understand one fundamental truth. The mind creates the conditions for wealth. Long before the bank account does, they believe there's more than enough. More opportunities to create more value, to deliver more people, to serve more ideas, to try more income to earn. They don't wait for permission. They build value and claim their share. Scarcity makes you small. Abundance makes you bold. When you think in scarcity, you shrink. You fear rejection. You underprice your worth. You play not to lose. But when you adopt abundance thinking, you take calculated risks. You see rejection as feedback. You play to win. And winners, they attract more opportunities. They inspire confidence. They make moves. The 97% are too scared to even try. How to break free from scarcity today? This shift must start now. Ask yourself, where am I operating from fear instead of belief? Where have I been shrinking when I should be expanding? What would I do differently if I truly believed there was more than enough? Then act like it. Read the books. Take the course. Pitch the offer. Raise your price. Speak your value. Bet on yourself, because until you do, poverty won't leave you alone. Scarcity is a prison with an open door. Here's the final truth. Scarcity is a prison, but the door has always been open. You're not stuck. You're not cursed. You're not broken. You've just been thinking small for too long. Step out. Step up. Step into the boldness that abundance requires, because the 3% aren't smarter. They aren't luckier. They're just braver thinkers with bigger beliefs who act like it. 7. Why most people never invest in themselves and how that keeps them poor. Here's a truth so few want to hear, but so many need to. Your income will never exceed your level of personal development. Not for long, not sustainably, not honestly. And yet, what do the 97% do? They spend on comfort. They spend on entertainment. They spend on distractions. But when it comes to growth, they hesitate. They flinch. They pull back. They say things like, I can't afford that. It's too expensive. Maybe later. But here's what they never realize. The cost of not investing in yourself is always higher than the price of growth. Let me show you why. Why the poor mind avoids self-investment. Most people don't see themselves as assets. They see themselves as expenses. They say, why pay for that course? Why read that book? Why hire that mentor? Because they believe the returns are uncertain. They don't trust themselves to execute. They don't see the future version of themselves as worth the cost today. And so, they stay stuck. Stuck in the same job. Stuck with the same skills. Stuck at the same income level for years. All because they wouldn't bet on the one person that truly matters. Themselves. The wealthy make growth non-negotiable. Here's what the 3% know. Every dollar spent on becoming better returns multiplied income if you act on it. They invest in books, in coaches, in programs, in seminars, in better tools, in better environments, in better habits. They don't see it as spending. They see it as planting. Because they understand this law. You cannot withdraw from a bank you never deposited into. The price of staying the same. Think investing in yourself is risky. Try staying the same. Try not growing. Try not learning. Try not adapting to a fast-changing world. Then watch Your skills become outdated, your income plateau, your confidence fade, your options shrink, and realize the longer you wait, the more expensive it gets. You'll look back and say, I should have done it sooner. I wasted years. I was the one holding me back. What investing in yourself actually looks like. Let's get specific. Investing in yourself isn't just throwing money around. It's about strategic, intentional choices that increase your value to the world. Reading 30 minutes daily. Taking that course that levels up your skills. Buying tools that make your work more efficient. Joining a community that pushes you. Hiring a coach to break through your limits. Attending events where opportunities are born. Protecting your time, energy, and focus like gold. These are not luxuries. These are essentials if you want to escape the 97%, the mindset shift that changes everything. Repeat this every morning. I am the best investment I will ever make. Not a stock, not a car, not a piece of land. You, because your mind, your skills, your courage, your consistency, these are the true income-producing assets. And when you grow those, everything around you rises with them. Stop waiting. Start building. There will never be a perfect time. Waiting for the perfect moment to invest in yourself is like waiting to feel motivated before working out. It doesn't happen. You create the moment by moving. So ask yourself, what's the one investment I've been avoiding? What knowledge could 10x my income if I mastered it? What version of me am I delaying simply because I won't pull the trigger? Now answer honestly. What would your future self say to you right now? Would they thank you? Or would they resent your hesitation? 8. Why emotions keep you broke, and how to break free forever. Most people are not broke because they lack intelligence. They're not broke because they lack opportunity. They're broke because they are emotionally undisciplined. They get scared, and they stop. They get bored, and they quit. They get angry, and they burn bridges. They get excited, and they overspend. Let me be clear, until you master your emotions, you will never master your income. Let's break this down. Emotional reactions versus rational decisions. You can either react to life emotionally, or you can respond strategically. Reacting is what the 97% do. They hear bad news and panic. They face rejection and retreat. They get a win and blow all their money celebrating. They let their emotional state dictate their financial state. But the wealthy, the 3%, they detach emotions from decisions. They make moves based on logical long-term thinking, day gratification, clarity of outcome. They feel emotions, but they don't become them. Fear is the number one wealth killer. Fear will steal every opportunity you don't act on. It whispers, you're not ready. What if you fail? What will people think? And so you wait, you stall, you hesitate. But here's the truth. You don't get paid to avoid fear. You get paid to move through it. Every breakthrough lives on the other side of fear. And those who become wealthy have learned to run toward the discomfort, not away from it. The cost of emotional spending. How many people stay poor? Because they chase emotional relief with money. They buy expensive clothes to feel significant, gadgets to feel accomplished, vacations to escape the life they've failed to build, and worst of all, they call it self-care. But self-care isn't indulgence. True self-care is discipline. It's sacrifice. It's saying no today so you can say yes tomorrow. The Millionaire's emotional armor. Want to know what emotional mastery looks like? Here it is. You stay calm when others panic. Don't you stay focused when others get distracted. You remain patient when others rush. You keep your word, even when feelings fade. You operate with clarity, not chaos. That's not luck. That's not talent. That's emotional training. And it's the difference between a fortune and frustration. How to begin gaining control. You don't change this overnight. You begin by observing yourself. Track your triggers. Pay attention to what throws you off balance. Then practice. Pause before reacting. Breathe before deciding. Delay gratification by 24 hours. Journal your emotions. Don't act on them. Create routines that don't rely on motivation. You don't need to feel ready. You need to feel committed, regardless of mood. The 3% operate like this. They make million-dollar moves based on momentary emotions. They build from vision. They act from intention. They trust systems, not just feelings, because they know this. If your emotions own your actions, your poverty will own your life. So ask yourself, how many opportunities have you lost because of fear? How many dollars have you burned to feel better? How many dreams have you delayed waiting to feel ready? Now decide, is that how you want your story to end? 9. The circle of failure. Why the people around you are keeping you broke. Look closely at your circle. Are they pulling you forward or holding you down? Because here's the truth. If you spend your time with broke thinkers, you will stay broke. This isn't about judging people. It's about protecting your mind. Your future is too valuable to gamble on the opinions of people going nowhere. Let me explain why. Environment is stronger than willpower. You can have all the ambition in the world, but if you're surrounded by complainers, success makers, time wasters, dream killers, then you are fighting an uphill battle every single day. Willpower may help you start, but your environment determines whether you keep going. And the 97%, they never escape because their circle keeps pulling them back. Mediocrity is contagious. Most people don't fail because of lack of ability, they fail because of social pressure. They're afraid of looking different, sounding their friends, so they play small, they dim their light. They settle, not because they have to, but because they fear being alone. But I'll tell you something most won't. There is a season of isolation that every successful person must go through, and if you're not willing to walk alone for a while, you'll walk with the crowd forever, right into mediocrity. The millionaire's circle is built, not found. Wealthy people aren't born into the perfect circle, they build it. They seek out mentors. They pay for proximity. They invest in masterminds, networks, and relationships that elevate them because they know this. Being around winners forces you to level up. Being around losers convinces you to stay down. So, ask yourself, who challenges your thinking? Who inspires you to act? Who calls out your excuses? If you don't have people like that around you, you're not in a circle. You're in a cage. Break the pattern. Choose different. To your past doesn't decide your future, your choices do, and the most powerful choice you can make today. Change who you allow to influence your mind. You don't owe your loyalty to anyone who makes you doubt your vision. You don't owe your time to people who drain your energy. You don't owe your presence to those who fear your growth. You owe it to yourself to rise. Even if it means rising alone. From isolation to elevation. Yes, it will feel lonely at first. Yes, people will talk. Yes, some will walk away. But eventually, you will attract those who think bigger, who dream louder, who move faster, who believe in becoming more. And when that happens, you'll realize the price of isolation was nothing compared to the cost of staying average. So ask yourself, are the people around me building me or breaking me? Do they push me toward growth or pull me back into comfort? If I stay in this circle for 5 more years, where will I end up? If the answer scares you, good. That fear is your wake-up call. 10. Are you finally ready to change? The millionaire's final wake-up call. You've heard the truth. Not the sugar-coated fantasy, but the harsh reality that 97% will ignore until it's too late. Now, let me ask you something important. Are you finally ready to change? Because this isn't about information anymore, it's about transformation. This is the moment where your life either keeps repeating or finally begins evolving. You've been lied to. You've been told, take it easy. Success takes time. Everything will work out someday. But look around. Has it worked out? Are you where you want to be? Are you living the life you imagined, or just surviving in the one that happened to you? Let's not pretend anymore. Comfort is a prison. Delay is a death sentence. Someday is a lie. And unless you disrupt this cycle, you will become the very person you swore you'd never be. Change doesn't wait for you. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's handing you success. Nobody's going to force you to rise. It's on you. If you want discipline, build it. If you want wealth, earn it. If you want out, fight your way out. The truth is simple. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is filled with action you haven't taken. And if you don't take it now, when will you? The path is painful, but so is staying. The same. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's lonely. Yes, you'll want to quit. But you know what's harder? Watching others succeed while you stay stuck, feeling regret eat you alive every morning, knowing deep down you had more, but didn't use it. Will either feel the pain of growth or suffer the pain of wasted potential. There is no third option. You are the one right now. You might feel broken. You might feel behind. You might feel like it's too late. But let me tell you something. You are the one to break the pattern, the one to rise above your past, the one to create a legacy that outlives you. You are not your mistakes. You are not your circumstances. You are not your fears. You are possibility. You are power. You are potential waiting to be activated. This is the moment that defines you, not tomorrow, not next month. Right now, because right now, you have a choice. Do what the 97% do. Nothing. Wait, hesitate, scroll. Or do what the 3% do. Decide, act, and never look back. This isn't a game. This is your life. Every second you waste is a brick in the wall that keeps you poor, broken, and forgotten. But every second you commit, every moment you lean in, every time you choose progress over comfort, you get closer to becoming the unbreakable, unstoppable, wealth-generating force you were meant to be. So now, I leave you with one final question. Now that you know the truth, now that you've seen the playbook, now that the excuses are gone, are you ready to change? Are you ready to burn the bridges behind you? Are you ready to outgrow your past? Are you ready to silence the voice that told you you'll never make it? Are you ready to rise, no matter how long you've been down? Because I promise you this, if you are truly ready, if you commit like your life depends on it, then nothing, and I mean nothing, can stop you. Your time is now. Let the 97% sleep. Let the doubters laugh. Let the dreamers dream. You need. And that's what makes all the difference.